All right, so let's talk about what we are going to learn in our lesson. We are going to learn how to build a database reactivation campaign for a fictitious client, Dr. Bob, who's a dentist who is interested in offering a free teeth whitening if you book a cleaning. Database reactivation campaigns are awesome, great ways to land new clients because you can show what you can do without them having to spend money on ads. So let's say you're like, all right, Dr. Bob, give me your database. I'm going to shoot out a text blast. And so our campaign is going to start with a text blast that's going to go out to his database saying, hey, I've got 10 free teeth whitening vouchers here on my desk. Would you be interested in one? Now we're going to then leverage artificial intelligence to filter the replies. So anybody who replies back positively that says, yes, yeah, sure, awesome, sounds good, will automatically be added into the follow-up campaign that says, great, I've got a voucher with your name on it. The next step is to just go ahead and click here to book your cleaning in order to redeem your teeth whitening. And then we could extend that. We'll talk about how you could extend that nurture campaign out over the course of a couple of days. But the next cool thing that we're going to build is a little filter bot that can understand certain replies that may come back to your nurture campaign. So we're going to talk about, here are 3 common ones. Maybe somebody would ask about pricing, maybe someone would ask about location, maybe somebody would ask about hours. We're going to build the location one. And so once you understand how to build one, you can build as many as you like. So we're going to build one that will understand if somebody asks back, hey, where are you located, what's your address, etc. And it would automatically send a reply back answering the question and then saying, and once again, here's the link to book your cleaning when you're ready. Then we're just going to, so we're going to have a booking widget somebody fills out to book their appointment. And once they do, we're going to push them into an appointment reminders campaign. We're going to do all that by following the steps that I've outlined down here. And so we're going to go through each step inside of high level. We're going to build this whole thing out on the high level platform. So you do need a high level account in order to follow along. But the great news is that we offer a free 14-day trial. So you can just head on over to gohighlevel.com, sign up for a trial, and you'll be able to follow along with our lesson. All right, so in order to get started, the very first thing that I have to do is just create a new sub account in high level for Dr. Bob. So I'm going to breeze through this really quickly. We have all these different industry snapshots. I'm just going to start with a blank, and I could search for a real business here, but because Dr. Bob's Dentistry is not a real one, I'm just going to make one up. Dr. Bob the Dentist, bob at dentist.com. And this is Dr. Bob's, 1, 2, 3, Dentist Street in Philadelphia, United States, PA, and 215-555-5555. Cool. So let's create that sub account. Awesome. And now I can hop down into Dr. Bob's. And now we're ready to get started. Okay, so first off, we can see that I don't have a Twilio number yet for Dr. Bob, which is going to be a problem because we want to send text messages on his behalf, right? So I'm going to click resolve and quickly just grab a number. Let's just throw in an area code here. All right, great. That number looks good. Perfect. So now I have a Twilio number set up, a phone number that I can use. Perfect. So now we are ready to get started. We're going to go sort of backwards here. So the first thing that we're going to do is create a calendar for Dr. Bob, our cleaning and free whitening calendar. So let's hop over here and we're going to go, we're already in our settings area. We would just go settings and then we would click calendars. I'm going to add a new one and I'm going to give it a name of cleaning plus free whitening. We have lots of options in here. I'm not going to go into all these, availability, all this kind of stuff, link it to Google Calendars, etc. But we are going to just leave it all blank for today and hit save. Okay, great. So now we have our calendar taken care of. We can come over here and just keep track of our progress by, oops, I guess I'll just turn it a different color here. So done. All right, next up, campaigns. We're going to build 4 campaigns for our demo today. The first one is going to be our offer blast campaign. So let's go here and we're going to go left-hand column to marketing campaigns. And we're going to create a new one. We're going to give it a name of offer blast. So I would probably do DR like for database reactivation to keep it all straight. And now we're in campaign builder. So this offer blast is just going to have one message in it, and it's going to be an SMS. So here we're going to say hi, and then I would grab a custom value of the person's first name and say, this is your favorite dentist, Dr. Bob. I've got a few free teeth whitening vouchers here on my desk. Would you be interested in one? And I'm going to hit save. Okay, so now that I have my one text message in my campaign here, I can come up here and publish it. All right, great. So there is campaign one. Whoops, looks like I can't do one at a time. So let's change that back, and we'll just have to remember that we took care of that. I'll just do a dash. All right, next up, our positive reply nurture campaign. So this is when somebody comes back and replies to that text positively, we're going to put them in this campaign that says, great, go ahead and click here to book. So we're going to go back to campaigns. We're going to, we want to add a new campaign here, and we're going to call this positive reply and nurture. So here again, we're just going to do an SMS that says, great, I've got a voucher. Let's reiterate our offer. Free teeth whitening voucher with your name on it. Or we could say like, in order to redeem your whitening, the next step is to book cleaning. You can grab a day time that works for you by clicking here. And now we need the link to our booking calendar. So I'm going to save this and let's go get that link. So we're going to go back to settings, calendars, and over here we can see we can get a link straight to our booking calendar. Now, we're not going to go into it today, but I would actually go into Funnel Builder and build a landing page for this so I could put, Dr. Bob's logo on there and dress the page up. But for our demo today, linking directly to the calendar will work. So we're going to come over and we're going to go back to that campaign and we're going to put our link in here. Okay. And that's obviously a pretty long and not attractive link, but when I would make my real landing page, I would have a nice URL, right? So let's hit save. Okay, great. Now, this is going to be a nurture campaign, right? So we want to get right back to them. So after 0 minutes, they're going to get this reply of when they get added into this campaign. But we would also want to continually remind them, right? So like, I'd probably want to send another text tomorrow. So like, hi Chase, just a friendly reminder from Dr. Bob that we've got a free, teeth whitening voucher waiting for you. Don't forget to book your cleaning by clicking here. And again, we would throw the link to the calendar, right? And so we might want to say we want this one to go out 1 day later. And then maybe we continue that, right? So maybe after we send this one, we also want to send a voicemail. So here I could upload a voicemail saying, hey, it's Dr. Bob. I'm just following up. Wanted to make sure, we get you booked so that you can get your cleaning and your free teeth whitening, right? So maybe that one would go out like an hour after we sent the text message. And so I could continue just building on this, right? I'm just going to leave it like this for now. Um, and again, change this from draft to published. Okay, so there's our second campaign. Now, next up, we have our location campaign. So this is going to be the one if someone were in the nurture campaign and they were to ask a question about our Dr. Bob's location. This is the campaign that the bot would push them into. So let's call this, let's go back. And so instead of creating a new one, what I'm going to do is actually just duplicate our nurture campaign. So I'm going to click into it and copy it. And we're going to change this one to be asks about location plus a nurture campaign. And we're going to put that in Dr. Bob's sub account. So when we go back to campaigns, here it is. We're going to click into it and we're just going to change this first message because we know that they just asked about our location. So I'm going to change everything up until our booking widget. So we're going to say we're located at 123 Main Street, right across from the Starbucks. Here's booking link again for when you're ready to book your cleaning and receive your cleaning plus a free teeth whitening, something like that. And then the rest of the nurture is the same, right? I want them to get the rest of whatever I had, so I'm going to leave all that in there and I'm going to scroll up and publish that. All right, so again, we're just building this one possibility that the bot would answer with if people ask about location, but you could build multiple campaigns, right? Maybe you want one campaign that answers questions about insurance, or one campaign like we talked about that answered a question about pricing or hours. Again, you would just repeat the steps that we just did for that location campaign that we just completed. All right, so the last campaign that we're going to build is an appointment reminder campaign. So let's just copy this name real quick here and we will hop back to campaigns and we're going to create a campaign called, oops, I can just paste it, appointment reminder campaign. Now with appointment reminders, what's cool is that high level knows if somebody goes into a campaign and they're carrying a pending appointment that they booked via a booking widget. So what that enables us to do is things like this. So we can write a text message and say, hi, Chase, just a friendly reminder. Actually, the very first one that we want to do is a confirmation, right? So we're going to say, hi, Chase, your cleaning plus a free teeth whitening. Man, I'm having trouble typing today. A free teeth whitening appointment for, and then we grab the appointment start date and time, and then we can throw in the time zone just so there's no confusion. Is confirmed. We look forward to seeing you then. And then maybe you just throw in like, Dr. Bob, or you could just come down here to the account and throw in the account name by default, whatever you want to do, and hit save. So we want this one to go out right away, which is good. And then we want to build our reminders, right? So again, we could do this with SMS and email and Facebook message and all sorts of stuff. We're just going to do SMS today. So hi, Chase, just a friendly reminder of your cleaning and free whitening appointment tomorrow at, and then again, I would reiterate this to be at the start date and time with the time zone. And maybe you want to throw in things like, please reply to confirm that you're going to still come, or whatever that might be. So let's say this one we could set to go out before 1 day, and let's just do one more. Chase, oops, we would use the dynamic variable here. Just a reminder of your, and again, I'm not going to type it all out, but your appointment in 1 hour. We look forward to seeing you. And again, it's all fully customizable. You can make it say whatever you want, but I would do before 1 hour. Okay, so we've got our appointment reminder campaign all ready to go. We'll take it out of draft, publish it, and now we have finished with all the campaigns that we need for our lesson today. All right, so next up, we're going to start building some triggers, which is where the fun really begins. So the first one is our positive intent trigger. So let's hop over to the left-hand column and head down to triggers. We're going to make a new one, and we're going to call this database reactivation positive reply. Okay, so on the left-hand side, we have to set our condition. So we're going to choose customer replied, and then we need to define this a little bit. So we want to say they replied to a campaign that was our offer blast, right? We're going to push out that offer saying, hey, we've got these free vouchers. Would you be interested in one? And then we're going to choose the intent type of their reply is positive. Okay, so if somebody replies positively, the action that we want to take is to add them to the next campaign, which is the positive reply and nurture. Okay, so that's all our first trigger needs to do. Anybody who replies to our blast positively is going to get pushed into our positive reply and nurture campaign. So we just scroll up to the top, hit save, take it out of draft and activate it, and we will be ready to knock out our next trigger. Our next trigger is actually going to be a little folder of triggers all related to people asking about a location. So let's go back to triggers, and I'm just going to make a folder to keep these all neat and tidy. So we're going to say database reactivation, asked about location, and we'll make a trigger, and we'll say, okay, so this one is going to be located, and we'll put it in that folder that we just created. So now we are going to say, okay, if somebody replies and they replied to our campaign, which was the positive reply and nurture campaign, that's the one that we just put them in with the previous trigger, and their reply contains located, we want to add them to the asked about location plus nurture campaign. Okay, so any reply that says located, it will push them into here. We're going to hit save, publish it. Now we're going to click back to triggers, and we're going to duplicate that one. And this one's going to be the same thing, but with a question mark, because we have to differentiate. If somebody says located and it happens to be at the end of the sentence with a question mark, we need to have that as an option so it gets recognized. So let's replicate this in Dr. Bob's. Okay, here it is. Let's move it real quick to our folder, and let's go edit it. And here we're going to put located with a question mark. Okay, save, active. Okay, and let's go do that one more time just to illustrate this point. So let's duplicate this one, and this one would be address. So same thing, Dr. Bob's. Okay. Move that into our folder. Oops. And let's edit it. And so this one would be address, because maybe they might say, what's your address instead of where are you located? So we're creating all the different possibilities of things that we know people might say that indicate to us, hey, they're asking about a location, so that our bot that we're building right now can go ahead and push them into the right campaign to answer that question. So let's hit save, active. Okay, and so that's all we're going to do for this one, but you could see how you could keep building out different variations um, based on what they might ask under the topic of location. All right, and now last up, we just need our trigger that's going to push people who make a booking into our appointment reminders campaign. So let's go back to triggers. We're going to add a trigger, and we're going to dr new booking. Okay. So on our left-hand side, our condition is going to be when a customer books an appointment in our calendar, that is our cleaning and our free whitening calendar that we created in the very beginning, we want to go ahead and add them into our appointment reminder campaign. Now, you might want to add a bunch of other actions over here too, like maybe create, send an email to Dr. Bob saying, hey, we generated a new booking for you. Maybe you want to add them to a pipeline, create an opportunity. There's tons of things you can do in here. We're not going to do anything for our lesson today. We're just going to keep it simple like this, and we're going to hit save and activate. All right, so the last step is for us to create our bulk request to push everyone into our offer blast. Now, before we would do that, we would need contacts in the system to bulk request into our blast. So let's do a couple of things. The way that we identify contacts is through tags. So I'm just going to go to settings, tags, and create a tag really quickly. And we're going to call this database reactivation, group 1 or something like that. Okay, so now let's talk about how we would upload contacts. So we would get them from Dr. Bob's system, whatever that system may be, and we would come into Contact Smart Lists and we would import them. So this is going to ask us for a CSV file, and I actually don't have one here on my desktop, but you would go through the normal steps. You'd upload the CSV, it would ask you to map the fields, it'll ask you what you want to do if it encounters a duplicate contact, and then at the end it would ask you if you want to tag the people that you are importing. And we would just enter that tag that we just created, DB group 1. So let's pretend that I'd updated a list, and so I'm just going to add myself in here as if I were on that list. Okay. And there I am. Now let's just go give me that tag. So again, we're pretending I came through in that upload, and now I'm here in the database with a tag. Okay, let's do a refresh here so we can see my tag. Oh, I forgot to save when I applied that tag, so let me just do that again real quick. Tags, group 1, save. There we go. And now we'll see me with my group 1 tag. Perfect. So now we can go create our bulk request by going to marketing, bulk request. We're going to add a new one. We're going to give it a name. So let's call it database reactivation group 1. We're going to select the campaign that we want to push everyone into, which is our offer blast. We're going to select when we want it to happen. So we want to do it now. We're going to choose all contact types, and here's where we're going to choose the tag. So this is saying, okay, only the people that have this tag do I want to push into that blast campaign. If I left this with no tags, it would push everybody in the database into that campaign. So here we're just going to do people with our tag. We're going to hit add, and then the last step that we need to do is just push play to set this bulk request into motion, and then we can test out what we built. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play. Okay, so that's going to run in a second. In the meantime, I'm going to open up my soft phone, which is going to be, actually I don't have it loaded on this computer, so I'll just open up my phone and we'll go run a test. So we can hop over to campaigns and we're going to see this 0 change to 1 as soon as that bulk request runs. So we can see here it's going to run at 5:10, which is 1 minute from now. So I'm just going to pause until that happens. Okay, so there it went. And now if we come back to campaigns, we're going to see that there's one person in that campaign. If I clicked that, it would show me who is in here. So we can see that the one step in it has been completed. And so if we pop over to the Conversations tab, we're going to see that the system sent out our database reactivation blast, right? Hi, Chase. See it put my name in there. This is your favorite dentist, Dr. Bob. I've got a few free teeth whitening vouchers here on my desk. Would you be interested? So now it's waiting for a reply. And remember, we built that positive intent trigger that's going to know if I come back and say, yes, yeah, sure, awesome. So let's test out. I've got my phone open here. And I'm going to say, sounds good. Okay, so boom, sounds good. The AI knew that sounds good is positive, right? I didn't have to say yes, and it added me into our follow-up, our nurture campaign. So it said, great, I've got a free teeth whitening voucher with your name on it. In order to redeem your whitening, the next step is to book a cleaning. And remember, we linked to our booking calendar. Now, let's pretend that I wasn't quite ready to book because I have a question, right? And remember, we built a bot that understands if a question is about a location. So let's say I type back, where are you located? Okay, boom, there's my reply. And remember, boom, our bot kicked in. We're located at 123 Main Street, right? Oh, and I made a typo. Across from the Starbucks. Here's the booking link again to go ahead and book a free whitening. So, okay, great. My question has been answered. I'm satisfied. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to choose a day and time, and I'm going to put in my details. And if I had turned on sticky contacts, it would have already put in my phone number because it already knows my phone number. But I'm just going to fill in my details here. Okay, great. I can skip that, and now I can add that booking to my calendar. So because I made a booking, our last trigger that we set up is going to fire. And then, oh, there we could see it already did. Hi, your cleaning has been and again, it threw in my day and time, has been confirmed. We look forward to seeing you then. And now remember, I'm going to get those other messages that we added leading up to my appointment. And I'm just curious as to why it didn't say my name, and so it's probably because I made an error somewhere. So if I go campaigns, appointment, reminder campaign, sure enough, I chose user first name when it should have been contact first name. And that would have fixed the issue. All right, so that's it for our lesson. To recap, we were able to run a database reactivation campaign for a potential client, Dr. Bob. He didn't have to spend any money on advertising. We were able to take his existing database and drum up new interest and get people to automatically book onto his calendar using some cool little AI and some cool little bots that we created that can answer some questions. Thanks a lot for hanging out and taking our lesson.